And without further ado, we're ready to go. So guys, welcome to this awesome new week that we have here in world history. We're going to jump in and we're going to do a few things this week. Most notably is we're going to actually finish up World War II. We're going to be done with our World War II unit at the end of this week. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to work through a few different things. We talked about the beginning of the war in the Pacific, the Holocaust. We did all of that last week and the week before that. This week, we're going to talk about the end of the war, and then you're going to do your final kind of project, is what I'm going to call it, for this unit when it comes to World War II. And I talked a little bit about this last time. We met in class on Wednesday of last week. But here's what I want you to remember and take away. At the end of this week, basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing this project where you can choose whatever piece of media you want to watch about World War II. So you can watch a World War II documentary, you can watch any movie like Fury or Saving Private Ryan or Dunkirk, or literally any of these movies you can choose from. I'm going to put together a list of all of them that are available for free on streaming platforms, on TV, wherever we can find them. And then you're going to write me a little bit of a reflection where you talk about what you saw and how it connects to what we've learned about in class. So overall, it's going to be just you get to watch a movie of your choice and talk to me about how it relates to World War II. That's how we're going to finish up this unit, but we have to get there, and we're going to get there on Wednesday. Now, today, there is some good news because we don't have a whole lot to cover this week. In fact, all we have to do is we have to finish up talking about World War II. We have to really break down and assign our final movie assignment for this week, and then we're finished up. So we're not having to push a ton of content and just like kind of train wreck through all of this different stuff. We covered all the different pieces together. So today, what I really want to use this time that we have meeting together for is looking at all the stuff that we have done so far, all the stuff we need to get done, and how to make ourselves successful. So really quick, I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you can take a look at what I'm talking about. Now, if you take a look here, these are some of the things that we have done throughout the week. Pay attention to that. You should have looked at all of these different presentations, one on the Holocaust, the war in the Pacific. We took a little Google Forms type of quiz thing. But most importantly, guys, when you go to Classroom, here's the agenda, okay, for today. I tell you exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get together, kind of talk things out, talk about assignments and grading stuff. And I want to give you some gentle reminders. Now, here's what I realized. A lot of you guys that are showing up to these live classes, that are really performing and coming in and listening and doing your stuff, you've been on top of your work 100%. Like, you've been doing fantastic. Keep up that good work, guys, because if number one is helping you stay in that routine, number two, it's going to boost your grade by 20%. And number three, it's keeping you accountable for this information, which is exactly what we need to do. Learning this stuff is important. That's why it's mandated in your standards. That's why we cover it in class. And so it's really awesome that you guys are showing up, you're doing the work, you're getting your stuff done. Now, if you've let a few assignments slip through the cracks, I want to be the first to say that that's okay, but you should go back and you need to get those done. All right, and so what we're going to do is I want to take a look at these assignments that we have in Classroom. So guys, a really easy way to check out what you have to do for my class is when you click on the Google Classroom, over here, there's this little box that says upcoming. It tells you all of the upcoming assignments and when they're due. So when I assign something like, hey, it's going to be due on Saturday at midnight, like all my work is due every week, you can click on that, you can see what's due, you can get in there and you can get it done. So use that to your advantage. Use that little box there. Now, when you come over here, when you click on Classwork, this is probably the most important tab for organizing yourself, guys. In Classroom, you can see every single assignment that has been assigned, okay, in this class. So these are all of the things that we've done so far talking about World War II, finishing up the unit, making sure we're ready to go. Now, as you can tell, like when I click here, only one person has turned in this assignment that was due on Saturday, okay? We need to make sure we're getting our stuff done. And so that's why I'm using today as kind of a day where we're going to talk about this, we're going to get organized, and I'm going to give you time to go in to do these things that you need to turn in to boost those grades, all right? So when you go through, you can click on each assignment, you can see that you need to turn it in or you have turned it in, all those different things. Now, take a look at these numbers, guys. This is just one class. But if you look, you can tell that our turn-in numbers for almost all of these assignments are incredibly low. Now, some of these are graded, so the numbers look a little different. But we need to make sure we get those assignments turned in. Here's the crazy thing about this. If you're showing up and you're watching the live classes and you're doing that and then you don't do the work, you're not getting credit for the stuff that you are putting in, the effort that you're putting into this class. So make sure you're turning in the work so that I can grade it, give you feedback, you can get those points, and you can boost your grade. All right? Now remember, guys, with GISH's new policy, our new grading policy, the whole way this e-learning thing works is that you're going to get these grades back in Classroom. A few of you have already gotten things back, like where it's sent back to you and it says like, hey, this is the score that you got on this quiz. And you can judge how many points you're going to get based on that, because you're going to have one final assessment grade at the very end of e-learning, and that's going to go in and it can boost your grade by 20 percentage points if you have turned everything in and you've done really well on those point values. So make sure to stay on top of that, follow through, and be checking up to make sure these things are done, are ready to go, and you're primed and ready to be successful. So right here, these are the things that we need to jump in and make sure are done and turned in, and you have gotten it to me. Now, what I want kind of your task for today when we get done with today's class is I want you to really methodically go through here and say, hey, did I turn this in? And question yourself if you turned in each of these assignments to make sure you're on top of that. And I have the stuff so that I can grade it for you and you can get those points. All right? So stay on top of that, because jumping between home and classwork, or the stream and classwork, that's where you're going to find all the things that you need to be successful. All right, guys, I don't want to have to walk you through Google Classroom. You've been exposed to it since the very beginning of the year, but make sure you're staying accountable there and you're getting your stuff done, because that's going to do awesome things for you. So now that we know what's going on here, all right, I have a few other things that I want to talk about. So we talked about our assignments. We talked about the things that we need to get done. We have talked about no harm grading, which is the idea that you can only raise your grade by doing the work here in e-learning. When you're putting in this effort, you're going to be raising your grade, which is fantastic for you guys that might have your grade in a place that isn't super favorable. So make sure you get that done. Now, number 3, the third thing I really want to talk about is I want to reiterate to you guys that finding a routine and being on top of this stuff is going to be super important as we prepare to be accountable for next year. Now, when we talk about next year, I'm not sure if everyone saw this, but we had a nice little announcement, and I'm not sure if you guys can see the calendar, but we had a nice little announcement where Gish basically said that we are going to stop our online e-learning, so basically actual school, having to show up to these Zoom meetings, turning in assignments, all of those different things, and kind of processing new content and stuff, that's going to end on the 15th. So basically we've moved the end of school kind of back to the 15th. Now that week that we would have normally had school up to the 21st, that week is something that you're supposed to go through and turn in any assignments that you need to button up and get in late, okay, so you can get all of the points available. So we will accept things after the 15th, but the 15th is the last day that we're going to do actual live classes, that we're going to teach anything. That's kind of going to be the wrap up for actual school. So make sure you mark that date on your calendars. Make sure you realize that it's crunch time, guys. Today we're rounding up, okay? We're coming down onto the 27th. We literally have this week, the week after that, okay? So we have this week, the week after that, and then that next week is the last week of school for you. So make sure you stay on top of this stuff, you get it done, and you email me if you have any questions, because that's going to help you be successful and help you stay on top of all this stuff as we get closer and closer to the end of the school year, and you're going to move on and become juniors, a lot of you, and we need to make sure you have all your ducks in a row so that you're prepped and ready to go. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but UNL announced yesterday that they're planning on having classes starting in the fall in person. That's kind of a target for us at Gish. Now, right now, I've talked about this before in our classes, but Grand Island and Hall County is a huge hotspot for coronavirus. There are tons and tons of people sick. In fact, all counties growing at the rate similar to like Louisiana and New York, which are the worst affected coronavirus states. So make sure that you are being safe in Gish. Now I'm in Kearney, and we have a little bit of danger around here, but we're not quite a hot spot like Grand Island is. So be careful and be safe out there, because we want to make sure to mitigate and minimize that spread so that we can actually have school in the fall, and we can make sure to kind of get into a new normal and enjoy our summer and start school in August. So make sure to stay on top of that. Be thinking about getting all of your stuff done, okay, and maintaining those safe social distancing things. Now, the last thing that I have for you today, guys, is I have on my point number 4 here for our agenda that we're going to talk about. It's a nice, easy day, a day full of reminders, making sure that you're getting your work done, letting us catch up so that we're ready to tackle the end of our World War II unit. But, okay, my last thing is I want to remind you guys to get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather today, because getting outside is like one of the #1 contributors to positive mental health. Getting outside, enjoying awesome weather, doing something active. So get out there, maintain a safe social distance, like I said, because Grand Island's a hot spot. But get out there and actually enjoy the weather. It's going to be a beautiful day. Go for a run, go for a walk. Just enjoy being outside and catching some sun. All right, make sure you stay on top of that. Now, as I stop sharing my screen and I talk to you guys a little bit more, make sure that you use this time today, because we had a short class, to jump in and get all of the stuff done that you need for this class. So I am going to kind of cut things short so that you have the opportunity to go through, to check yourself, to make sure you're A-OK, good to go, so that tomorrow at 11 a.m. when we meet again, we're going to start talking World War II stuff. You're going to be all caught up and ready to crush that final World War II unit final assignment. All right? So stay on top of that. Be ready to go. And like always, guys, thanks for showing up. It's a beautiful day, so enjoy it. It was good to see you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you got any questions, stick around. But if not, you're good to go for today. Make sure you get all your stuff done.
Our assignment is to watch a movie and just like talk about it.
So that will be your assignment, Ryan. I will assign that on Wednesday when we finish up all of our information on World War II.
Okay.
So your assignment for today is get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather.
Yes.
I can't. I have too much work.
Oh,
Sounds
come
like
on. You could do it, Tristan.
Wow.
I'm out here doing yard work.
Go do your work outside.
That's too much work.
Oh, come on. It's a beautiful day. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Bye, boy.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Here.
11.
Oh, by the way, I nominated you for Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, Mariah. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, have fun working at Wendy's.